Hi folks, my name is Marlene Devine and you're in Cinderella's Sweet Shop. I'm located in Western Kentucky. You might can detect a little bit of an accent there. I live close to Kentucky Lake. If you are an avid fisherman, then you know how good Kentucky Lake is, or Lake Barkley. But that's about a little close to where I'm at. I'm about maybe 5 miles from Kentucky Lake. I'm married to my husband, Todd. We've been married for 12 years. We live pretty much in a very active lifestyle. We enjoy going to the lake together. I love pickleball. Love it. Love it. I play 2 to 3 days a week, usually for 2 to 3 hours each time I play. And today I'm going to share something with you that I like to take with me in my pickleball bag. It's a little protein bite. When we do a little cooking, sometimes it might be quick little videos, sometimes it might be short videos. A lot of times I ramble, as you can tell. But today's gonna be kind of short, it's gonna be kind of quick. This is our first video, so it's kind of hit and miss. But bear with me, it's gonna get better. I promise you it'll get better. This is just kind of a throw together kind of thing. You're sitting on a 5-gallon bucket. That tells you how thrown together it is today. And how many times have you sat on a 5-gallon bucket in somebody's kitchen? Only in Kentucky can you say you've done that. But today, you're sitting on my 5-gallon bucket on my counter. This is my commercial kitchen here in my home. I'm gonna share it with you. It's kind of a mess today because I've been doing a little cooking and baking. So anyways, this is my commercial kitchen. It's not inside my actual home. It's just outside of my home. My husband, Todd, he built this for me. I'm gonna mess you a little bit there. There we go. He built this for me. I bake cakes on the side. I'm a hairdresser 3 days a week at a little beauty shop in town, in Benton. And then the other days that I'm not working at the beauty shop, Todd and I are either on the lake together, or I'm playing pickleball, or I am in Cinderella's Sweet Shop. So today we're gonna make those protein bites, and we're gonna use peanut butter, a little peanut butter. I've measured it up in a cup for you so you can see how much we're using. We are going to use some oats. I buy a lot of things in bulk because I do a lot of baking for other people. We're going to use some mini semi-sweet chocolate chips. We're going to use vanilla, dried blueberries, dried cherries, creamy peanut butter, some oats, and some chopped almonds. So I'm going to move you back a little bit. Here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna have to, bear with me. I told you, you're not on the bucket anymore. Maybe this will be better so you can kind of see what we're doing. Okay, so in my glass bowl here, we are going to add our peanut butter. And this is about 2 cups of creamy peanut butter. And I had to measure it out because, as I said, I buy a lot of things in bulk, and that was what was left in my can there. I have another can in the house, but that's what was left there. So we have 2 cups of creamy peanut butter. To that, we are going to add 1, 2, 3, 4 cups of quick oats. Not the old-fashioned rolled kind. These are the quick. You fell. Told you, bear with me, all right? Bear with me. Okay, you have 2 cups of peanut butter. You have 4 cups of quick oats. And could you try again? This stupid watch. I'm telling you. Again, it's a dry run, okay? It is a dry run. Let me see if I can't figure something out here. Okay, hang on, I'm back. I had to get you something else to sit on. The 5-gallon bucket was too tall for my counter, and you're too short sitting on the counter, so I got you on a cake stand. See how I work? Redneck. Okay, so we've got the 2 cups of peanut butter. We have 4 cups of quick oats. And then the dried cherries, there's about 5 ounces in that package, and I've already used about half of it. So this is gonna be about 2.5 ounces, which is a half a pack of the dried cherries. And I've kind of rough chopped them a little bit with my knife. So there's that. And then to that, we are going to add half a package of these blueberries because I've already made one batch of the protein bites. That's how I know they're good. So we're gonna do half a pack of that. This package is a 3.5 ounce and we've done about half of that. So that's gonna put you at about a little less than 2 ounces. So we've got that in there. To that, we're gonna add about a half a cup of chopped almonds. And those almonds are a roasted salted almond and they come whole. So I just kind of used my knife and kind of chopped them up. To that, we've got about a half a cup of the almonds. So we have the almonds, we have the dried cherries, we have the dried blueberries, the oats, the peanut butter, and we're going to add, probably about, this is Mexican vanilla. This is not the brand it is. I put it in this thing because this bottle had a dropper on it, and the Mexican vanilla is very concentrated. So I would say if you're not using Mexican vanilla, probably about a tablespoon, but Mexican vanilla is very strong. So you're gonna want about a half a tablespoon of that Mexican vanilla in your bowl there. So here's what we look like right there. I can't see you, but that's what we look like. So we've got our peanut butter, our oats, our cranberries and all that in there. Maybe I can put you, look, oh, yeah, no, you're not gonna stay in there. Maybe I should get some duct tape, you think? My husband would say, get you some duct tape and tape that phone on it. You know what I did? I paused it for just a little bit and I went to my little drawer over there and I got some packing tape. So you are now taped on. I'm telling you, this is redneck. You sit on a bucket in my kitchen. Now you're taped to the back of my phone stand. You can't make this up. I'm telling you, you can't. Bear with me. We will get better. We will. Okay, so here's what we got. You hear it popping? It's that tape. It's going crack, crack. But I got to do that to keep you from falling off. Okay, now I'm just going to stir this up really good. It doesn't take much to get it all stirred up. We're just going to stir it all together. Now, while we're doing this, I'm going to tell you a little bit about pickleball. If you've never played pickleball, I'm telling you, you're going to want to try it at least once. It is so fun. I love it. My friend Jessica, she is a PE teacher, and she was practicing so she could teach her kids how to play pickleball. And she calls me up and she was like, hey, you want to go with me practice pickleball? And I'm like, yeah, sure, I'll go with you. So when I get off the phone, I tell my husband, I don't really want to go play pickleball with her, but she's my friend and I'm going to, so I'm going to do it. But I'm telling you right now, I ain't going to like it. Guess what? I loved it. Loved it. Like within probably 2 days, I had a paddle, I had balls, had a bag, shoes, the whole 9 yards. I'm telling you, eat up with it now. I'm eat up with it. So yeah, Jessica is to thank for this. So that's what we've done. We've got all this in here together. Now I play all the time. And I'm not diabetic. I'm kind of pre-diabetic. So sometimes when I go and play, you don't want to go and play on an empty stomach. I can't because my blood sugar drops. So I eat something really light before I go. I may have like a protein smoothie or a protein drink or like a piece of bread with about a tablespoon of peanut butter and a banana, because that gives you a protein and a carb. So you've got energy to get you going and you've got energy to keep you going. So you've got quick and slow energy. So these protein bites are awesome for me to put together and take with me to play pickleball, because I can scoop them up and put them in the freezer, and that's what we're gonna do today. I'm just gonna scoop them all out. Oh, crapola, hang on a minute. I forgot the star of the show. Chocolate chips. What was I thinking? To this, we're gonna add about a half a cup ish of miniature semi-sweet chocolate chips. So we've got, I'll give all that to you again in a minute. We're just gonna stir all this up, get it all gooped in there together. I guess if you didn't want to put the chocolate chips in there, if you wanted to dip these in chocolate, you could do that, but ain't nobody got time for that. It's just one more step. And this way you kind of get all of it in there together. And to be honest with you, if you guys weren't sitting right here on my counter, I'd probably do this by hand. But I don't want to wig you out, so I'm using my spatula. Okay. And it's gonna be a little bit crumbly because those chocolate chips, they don't want to stick together. But here's what I got. Looks like horse feed, don't it? It's better than horse feed. Much, much better. Okay. So, I'm gonna use a cookie scoop. That's about the size of probably a $1/2. I don't know how many ounces it's gonna give us, but about the size of a $1/2 cookie scoop. You can do any size you want. You can do them bigger or smaller. I like this size because I can put these in the little bags that I put them in. Right there. I'm gonna scoop these out and then I'm gonna show you what it looks like. You don't want to watch me do this. I'm gonna come back in a minute. Okay, I'm gonna show you what I'm doing. I've washed my hands, and these balls, I scoop them out with my scooper, and they don't really stay together. So I just use that more or less for a serving size. So I know about how big my balls are gonna be. I'm just gonna scoop them out, and then I'm gonna roll them in my hand, and I'm squeezing them because you wanna pack that together so they stay together. And that kinda shows you about the size they're gonna be. So we'll get these done and I'll come back. Okay, so we're back, and I've got all of them scooped out and put on a cookie sheet. And I've just lined this cookie sheet with a piece of aluminum foil to make my cleanup a lot easier, because who wants to scrub a pan? Anyways, we've got about 35 of these little balls. I'm going to pop them in the freezer for about 15 to 20 minutes. That way they can kind of set up a little bit, and then I'll package them into individual bags. So I'm gonna pop it in the freezer, and we'll come back in just a little bit. Now, while our little protein bites set in the refrigerator, the freezer actually, to set up and get hard, we're gonna have a little chat. You know, I told you about my husband, Todd. He does not like to play pickleball, but that's okay. That's okay. He has his stuff that he does. I have my stuff that I like to do, and cooking is one of them. My little kitchen here, as you'll see, my husband built me this kitchen. Y'all, he's just great. He really is. If I mention, oh, I'd like that, then he's finding a way to make it happen. If I mention, oh, I'd like to go there, he's finding a way to make it happen. And he did that with this kitchen. It's truly a blessing. I was baking cakes for other people in our home, and I would drag out all my stuff and put it on the counter, start to work. And some days my days would start at like 5 a.m. in the morning. And I'd bake cakes and wrap them and put them in the freezer or refrigerator to get cold and hard so I could ice them. And then I'd clean that mess up and go to work at the beauty shop. Then I'd come home from the beauty shop and drag all that mess back out. Sometimes I would cook supper and clean that mess up and then drag all my cake baking stuff out and then go from there. Well, my husband was like, you are just wearing yourself out with all this. So why don't we build you a kitchen? And I'm like, no. The only place we could do it would be in our garage, and we have a big garage, but that's kind of his thing, you know. I have no desire to spend time in that garage. I piddle, but I don't work in it. So I was like, no, I don't want you to take your garage away. So we're not going to do that. Well, fast forward a few months, and his dad calls me and says, hey, why don't you go with me to my church, and we're going to look at this fish fryer, yada, yada. I was like, okay, I'll go with you. So we go and we look at this fish fryer, and I'm like, yeah, that's a pretty nice fish fryer. And so the preacher's like, well, what about this stove? And I'm like, okay, what about this stove? And he's like, well, you know, would you be interested in the stove? And I'm like, yeah, maybe I would. So, you know, tell me what you want for it, for the fryer, for the stove. We'll go from there. And he's like, no, hun, you don't understand. We want to give this to you. Y'all, about lost it right there in that church. Now, something you'll know about me, I believe in God. I am a full-fledged Christian, but sometimes I cuss a lot. I held it together and I said, okay, well, you know, let me think about it. So me and my father-in-law left, and we come home, and I come in the door, and my husband was like, well, what'd you think? And I'm like, we gotta sit down. We gotta sit down. He's like, oh my God, are you okay? And I'm like, yes, and I'm crying. And he's like, oh my God, is my dad all right? And I'm like, yes, I'm fine. You didn't wreck your car, did you? And I'm like, no, I didn't wreck my car. I'm like, oh, just give me a minute. You know how sometimes I tell you that, you know, God puts things on you for a reason, and if you don't listen, he's gonna throw it in your lap? And he's like, yes, but Marlene, what does this have to do with my dad? I'm like, your dad is fine. I didn't wreck the car. I didn't hit nothing. Your dad's fine. Let me tell you. And I said, you know, here's what happened. The preacher, their church is getting rid of their stove and their fryer. And I said, you know, I went with intentions of maybe getting a fish fryer. I didn't know I was coming home with a stove too. And he's like, well, looks like we're building that kitchen after all. Y'all, I cried because I truly believe if it's meant to be, it'll happen. That fell in our lap. It fell in our lap. This that you see now used to be our outdoor kitchen. We bought a hibachi type grill, and we cooked out here a lot for friends. We had so many hibachi meals before I learned how to cook that. We'd go to a local restaurant, and I was watching, and I got to, you know, kind of talking, and they were very, very nice to me. They were like, oh, here's what you need to do, and yada, yada. And, you know, I'm like, well, you know, you don't have to give me any secrets. I'm just going to watch you. Well, we made that hibachi kitchen, an outdoor kitchen, and I loved it. I used it all the time. I cooked breakfast on it, burgers on it, steaks on it, you name it, I cooked it on it. So when he come up with getting rid of that kitchen, because he said, you don't need 3 kitchens. No, I don't need 3 kitchens, but no, I don't need 3 kitchens. So we decided to turn our outdoor kitchen into this commercial kitchen. It has been a godsend, let me tell you. I ain't got to drag that crap out. My son had moved out, so I've turned his bedroom, what used to be his bedroom, into my overflow storage. His closet where all his clothes hung now houses pans and sprinkles and boxes and all that stuff. But, so yeah, this has been a blessing. My husband has given me my dream, and he's helping me to share with you. So anyways, just wanted to share that with you a little bit about me, because if you're going to hang out with me, you need to know a little bit about me. And it's important to know that I'm going to cuss. I'm going to cuss. I'm not going to say the bad word, the big bad fudgy word. I'll bleep that out. But there might be some other words in there, but you'll get me. And we're going to become good friends. So we'll be back in a minute. Okay, so we're back. We put these little protein bite balls in the freezer, and they've been in there for probably about 15 minutes. And I'm going to put 2 of the protein bites in these snack size bags. Now, 2 of them are good for a good go-to snack for me, like when I play pickleball, or if I get up in the morning and I'm not just real hungry, but I know that I'm gonna need something for breakfast. These are good to grab and take with me. I can eat them in the car on my way to work. I can put them in my pickleball bag as a quick protein snack in between games. I can take them with me to work, and you know, at the beauty shop, sometimes we get lunch, sometimes we don't. I don't book a lunch off when the days I work at the beauty shop. I just don't, because I'm self-employed, and Time is money. If I take a 30, 45 minute lunch, then you know what? I don't get paid. I'm not making money. And I don't go to that beauty shop to sit in a chair and eat lunch. I go to that beauty shop to work. So I might have like 15, 20 minutes while the color's processing. That's not a lot of time to warm up lunch or something like that. But if I take these with me, and I usually will take them with me and keep them in my work bag, or I might take them and keep them in the refrigerator at work. But these are awesome because you got a protein, you got carbs. Sometimes I'll take a protein drink with me and I'll have that, sip on that during the day, and I might have one of these while I'm mixing up color, something like that along the day. Because, you know, I'll be honest with you. Like I said, I don't book lunch. So, you know, if I have 20 minutes before my next customer comes, then I'm usually doing a load of laundry, or I'm cleaning up the room, or I might be taking a pee break, or, you know, just whatever. Sometimes it's returning phone calls, or because, you know, people will call, make appointments, or text me for appointments. So I might do that. I might be making out my supply order for my salesman. So, you know, I don't have time for lunch. I ain't got time for that. I usually go to work between 7 and 8 o'clock in the morning. I'm usually there till 6, sometimes 7 o'clock at night, sometimes later. It really just depends. I only work 3 days, so I'm willing to put the time in on those days that I'm there. And most of the time, if I have lunch, it's something quick, like cottage cheese and peaches, or beef jerky, or protein bites, something like that. So, you know, these are really, really good for that. And, you know, you don't have to go by this recipe. You don't have to. You can put anything in here you want. Honestly, you can. And here's what I've thought about doing. I've been watching all these videos where these people do dates. You soak dates in like some hot water for a little bit. You blend them up. You drain them, you know, drain the water off. Then get them soft, and then you blend them up. And they say it's like caramel. Girl, don't you know that would be good in some oats with maybe some pecans? And then, you know, put that in the freezer, scoop it out and put it in the freezer, and then dip that in some chocolate. And then you'd have like a healthy version of a turtle. You know what? We may have to do that. Would that not be good? I think it would be good. I might be onto something. We'll do that. We'll do that. Maybe not the next time, but you get the gist of what we're doing here today. We are putting all these together in these bags, and we're going to store them in the freezer. Then just grab them out of the box whenever we're ready to go. So we're going to do that. We're going to box these up, and we'll come back in a minute and I'll show you how I'm going to store them. Okay, so we have them all bagged up. We ended up having 19 bags, and I just put them in a 2-gallon bag, and I'm going to pop this in the freezer, and that's how I'm going to keep it in the deep freezer, so that when I get ready to go play pickleball or go to work or whatever, I can just grab a bag out and eat it and be on the go. So there you have that. Wasn't that fun? That was fun, wasn't it? You're going to want to come back next time, aren't you? You're going to want to come back. You and I, we're going to be friends. We're going to share a lot together. We're going to talk a lot. We're going to cook a lot. We're going to get to know each other. And I'm going to be in your kitchen as often as you're in mine. So I hope you've learned something from today. I learned something. Every time I do something, I try to get something from it, and I learn something from it. So here's what I learned from today. I learned that you don't sit very well on a 5-gallon bucket. And packing tape works really good to tape your phone to your little stand. And I learned that sometimes in life, we learn things. Sometimes in life, we teach things. And sometimes in life, we wing it. Today, I have done all 3. So, we'll come back in a couple of days, and we'll make something else, and we'll learn a little bit more about me. So, toodaloo. See you then.